Is it a good time to travel to Thailand now during COVID-19? In this video I'm going to tell you what you should consider before you book your trip. Hi guys, if you're new to this channel, I'm George Thai and you're on My Thai 24. Here you get insights on Thailand like nowhere else, as I'm able to speak, read and write Thai fluently, unlike most other foreign YouTubers in Thailand. Recently I uploaded videos explaining how to enter Thailand without quarantine under the so-called Sandbox program. I throw a link in the description. In the comment section of these videos, I saw many comments saying it is just too complicated to enter Thailand and it's just not worth the effort. I kind of understand these people, as it is really not easy to enter Thailand right now. But with regard of the question whether it's worth to come to Thailand at the moment, I would say yes and no. It depends very much on what you expect from your trip to Thailand and what you want to do in Thailand. In the following, I, as someone who has been in Thailand during the whole COVID-19 pandemic, will tell you what you need to consider before you book your trip to Thailand. Okay, without further ado, let's jump right into it. If you want to come to Thailand because of its beautiful nature and particularly because of its stunningly beautiful beaches, in my opinion it's a really unique chance to experience them without the mass tourism which was common before COVID-19. For instance, on Phuket, on most beaches there are hardly any people. As I went to Phuket earlier this year, most beaches were almost empty and breathtakingly gorgeous and also much cleaner than before COVID-19. Moreover, for those who are into diving and snorkeling, it is also a unique chance because marine life has recovered and got healthier since mass tourism has stopped because of COVID-19. And for people who are into water sports, it is also great because they only have to share the beach with a few people, and quite likely the prices for renting a jet ski or parasailing are lower than during mass tourism times before COVID-19. So if you love the sea and come here particularly because of the sea, it's a great time to come to Thailand now, and it's worth all the efforts, in my opinion. Besides that, it's important to know that nightlife has stopped at the moment. It's completely shut down. So beer bars, go-go bars, karaoke bars, pubs, discos, everything is closed. This is true for Bangkok, Pattaya and Phuket too. Even if they reopen the nightlife, they also can shut it down very quickly again just due to increasing COVID-19 numbers. Moreover, if you are too much into nightlife ventures, you might risk catching COVID-19 and your holiday could end abruptly because you have to quarantine in a hospital for 14 days if you are tested positive in any of the COVID-19 tests which you have to do during the 14-day sandbox time. As you know, most vaccines protect against severe disease, but it's not proven yet how much they protect against infection. So it's possible that you test positive in spite of being vaccinated. Just keep this in mind too. So it's not good to travel to Thailand because of the nightlife now. Moreover, you need to be aware of the fact that many businesses are closed due to the following two reasons. First, of course, if they were shut down by the government because of COVID-19 restrictions. And second, if they have gone bankrupt because of the COVID-19 crisis. Particularly at tourist destinations like Phuket and Pattaya, you see a lot of the latter too. There are lots of hotels, restaurants, supermarkets, convenience stores, clothing shops, and even department stores and many other businesses which have been closed for more than a year because of a lack of tourists. Oftentimes buildings of these businesses have not been maintained for a long time and look quite run down. It will take a long time to renovate them and to make them ready for business again. So even if all COVID-19 restrictions are lifted, it will take a significant amount of time until everything is normal again. Consequently, at tourist places like Pattaya and Phuket, you have less choice with regard to shops, restaurants, hotels than you used to have before COVID-19. At some places you even have no choice at all. For example, as I was in Phuket earlier this year, in the close proximity of my hotel there was no restaurant at all. They all closed because of a lack of tourists. So if we did not want to take our car, most of the time we were dependent on the food of the hotel, which was not good but expensive. One important thing to know is that mask wearing is compulsory in more than 50 provinces since April, including Phuket, Pattaya and Bangkok. As soon as you leave your house or your hotel, you have to wear a mask. The mask rule also applies if you drive your motorbike or if you drive your car. The mask rule is also enforced and there are strict punishments and fines of up to 20,000 baht, which is approximately 670 US, for people violating it. But I think it should be not a problem if you lie on your beach mat and take off your mask, as long as no people are close to you. But as soon as you get up and walk around, it could happen that a guard reminds you to put on your mask, or you might get some disapproving looks by other people. Furthermore, due to this strict mask wearing rule, Thailand has kind of changed into a faceless society, which is also true in other countries, but I think even more in Thailand, because the rule is really quite strict and you have to wear masks everywhere as soon as you have left your home or your hotel. It is really a pity, as a lot of the charm of this beautiful country just disappeared and the famous Thai smile cannot be seen because it's covered by a mask. Moreover, the whole social distancing and the fear of getting infected has made people very careful, and therefore they are less likely to greet other people or have a chat with other people, particularly not with strangers. This makes the society less friendly, less open, and even apparently less polite. Of course, this is also true for many other countries in the world during COVID-19, but I think it's even a greater loss for Thailand because Thailand was so popular and famous due to its friendliness and its hospitality. You also need to be aware of the fact that you have to quarantine in a hospital if you are tested positive in any of the COVID-19 tests which you have to do during the 14-day sandbox time. This is also true for children. It's very important to keep this in mind. Another thing which you should know is that you have to download and activate a COVID-19 tracking app called Thailand Plus as soon as you have arrived in Thailand. So all your movements will be tracked. So in case if you get infected, they will precisely know where you have been and also know who is at risk of having caught COVID from you. For some people this is okay, but some other people do not like to be tracked all the time. So it very much depends on you. If you got value from this video, please smash the thumbs up button. Thank you. After the 14 days of your sandbox time and negative COVID-19 tests, you are officially free to travel around in Thailand. However, it still could be that you are not 100% free, as there are quite a few provinces which have quarantine measurements in place for people who come from high-risk provinces, for example like Bangkok. In some districts of some provinces, you even have to quarantine alone on a rice field, as they do not have any quarantine facilities like field hospitals. I've heard from someone here in my condo in Bangkok that she has to quarantine on the rice field if she returns to her village in Isan. I've double-checked this on the internet, and indeed, this lonesome quarantine on the rice field for 14 days exists. For people who plan to come to Thailand to socialize or date with locals, you need to take into consideration that quite a lot of Thai people are pretty scared or even are panicking because of the escalating situation during the third wave of COVID-19 in Thailand. So many of them prefer staying at home and avoid meeting other people, so they are pretty unlikely to meet anybody new. So this is not the best time to come to Thailand for socializing or dating. Even though this might be not interesting for many people, as they do not think that they are dependent on an ICU bed or a hospital bed, But for some people, perhaps for the ones who have chronic diseases, this might be interesting too. Therefore I mention it. In April, so about 2 months ago, the Center for COVID-19 Situation Administration, the CCSA, has warned of a shortage of ICU beds if the daily new cases continue to be 1,500 and that something has to be done urgently. After that warning, the daily new cases went up to 2,000 and even oftentimes to more than 3,000 cases per day. Moreover, in March and April, there were many reports on social media and also the Thai news of people desperately searching hospital beds for themselves or for their severely sick loved ones or friends because they were refused admission in hospitals. However, apparently, according to the Thai authorities, everything is okay now with regard of ICU beds and hospital beds. They have set up field hospitals and even field ICUs in order to cope with the situation, and they say right now there is no shortage anymore. I hope very much that this is true, but I'm not 100% convinced. Anyhow, everybody has to judge on this by himself. With regard of this, please also have a look at my video about the COVID-19 situation in Thailand. I'll throw a link in the description. Okay, these were a couple of points which I consider to be important to be aware of before you book your flight and hotel in Thailand. In conclusion, it can be said that it depends very much on you and what you want to do in Thailand, and if you are willing to accept the Thai COVID-19 restrictions and measurements like mask wearing outdoors during your holiday. If you want to come here for the nightlife and socializing or dating, in my opinion, it's not the right time to come here, and it's better to wait until the situation normalizes here. But if you want to come here because of the beautiful natural sights and the beautiful dream beaches which Thailand has to offer, then it's a unique chance to come here and experience all that without mass tourism. However, in any case, there's a lot of uncertainty in Thailand now due to COVID-19. Therefore, the local situation may change and further measures might be introduced at any time with little warning, sometimes even in the last moment. Even travel restrictions and lockdowns can be placed at any time if local clusters are found, particularly clusters with more contagious variants. I hope the information provided in my video is helpful for you. Perhaps now it's easier for you to decide whether now it's a good time for you to come to Thailand, or perhaps if you want to wait a little bit longer until the situation has normalized here. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section. If you got value from this video, please hit the like button. Thank you. I will have many more interesting videos coming up soon, so please subscribe my channel and make sure you do not miss them. Thank you very much for watching, and I catch you on the next one. Bye.